Welcome to the news here on IETV and to our viewers on IETVTT.com. I'm Micah Dume. Thanks for joining us. In the headlines, political tensions rise over Prime Minister Prasad Bosessa's claims on PNM headquarters funding. U.S. military aircraft lands in Tobago to remove advanced radar system. A woman stabbed to death in Cedros. Police hunt suspect known to victim. In our top story, tensions between the government and the opposition have escalated following allegations made by Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bosessa regarding the funding of the People's National Movement's PNM headquarters, Balize House. Here's more details. Speaking in Parliament last Friday, Prime Minister Prasad Bosessa claimed the construction of Balize House was financed by criminal financiers with ties to the drug trade. She described the party's headquarters as a gravestone to drug money, pedophilia and theft. In response, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley rejected the allegations during a media briefing at his Diego Martin home in sharp language that has drawn criticism from government ministers. He resorted to name-calling towards the Prime Minister and repeated the term while challenging her to provide evidence supporting her claims. Former Prime Minister Rowley maintained that the PNM headquarters was funded by contributions from party members and supporters. The remarks have sparked strong responses from government officials. Couva South MP and Minister of Public Utilities Barry Padarath condemned Rowley's comments as degrading and inappropriate for a former head of government, highlighting the broader issue of respect for women in public life. When a former Prime Minister addresses the country in this way, it is not strength, it is spite, vulgarity and a complete absence of decency, Padarath said. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal also fired back, describing Rowley's actions as disgraceful, unfortunate and vile. The exchange underscores growing political acrimony, with both sides trading accusations and personal attacks over the funding of Balize House, further intensifying partisan tensions in Trinidad and Tobago. A United States military aircraft landed in Tobago on Tuesday, reportedly to transport the U.S.-installed ANTPS-80 Ground Air Task-Oriented Radar System from the island. Here's more. The aircraft, identified as a U.S. Marine Corps KC-130J, arrived from Puerto Rico and later departed with the advanced radar system, which had been stationed at the ANR Robinson International Airport. The radar's removal comes months after its presence in Trinidad and Tobago was explained by the government as part of efforts to combat drug trafficking, following a request by Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bosessa. However, former military commander Norman Dindial has questioned that explanation, suggesting the system may have been repositioned by the United States for use in ongoing international conflicts. Dindial argued that the radar's capabilities and recent movement indicate it may not have been primarily intended for counter-narcotics operations, as previously stated. The development follows heightened global military activity involving the United States military, with reports of damage to radar and communication systems at several U.S. bases in the Middle East. There has been no official statement from local authorities on the removal of the radar system. A 28-year-old woman has been stabbed to death in Cedros in what police are treating as a homicide. The victim has been identified as Reshmi Diowajit of Budram Trace, Granville. Her body was discovered at a residence on a Tuesday, March 17th, with multiple stab wounds. Investigators say Diowajit was last seen in the company of a man known to her. Police have since identified a person of interest as Rakesh Jagannath, also known as Bolin, and are actively searching for him. Officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service are continuing investigations into the circumstances surrounding the killing. Diowajit was well known in the sporting community as a talented cricketer. We pause for a moment. More news when we come back.
Perfection doesn't happen by chance. Like an artist, the cook selects the main ingredient, one that is worthy of a proud cultural tradition. Trusted to enhance your creations with its richness and versatility. To create a cooking masterpiece, the secret is simple. The brand we know, the brand we trust, the brand our ancestors have been using for generations.
There is only one pure cow brand ghee. Look for the marks of authenticity.
Tile Expressions Limited, as one of the largest importers of tiles, offers an extensive range of high-quality tiles in ceramic, porcelain, granite, stone, and mosaic options. Additionally, we offer a variety of tile accessories and bathroom sets to complement any decor style. We are committed to providing exceptional customer service and swift delivery of all products. From indoor and outdoor tiles to bathroom sets and tile accessories, we have curated a range that caters to both traditional and modern taste. Lampus 13, Ajudha Road, Munro Road, Canopio. Call 223-8453.
Welcome back. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander says law enforcement has been placed on high alert following the return of nationals from the United Kingdom with alleged links to serious criminal activity. Here's more. Minister Alexander said the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has been alerted to individuals facing allegations including murder and gun running as authorities move to closely monitor their activities. Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Sean Sobers revealed that more than 700 nationals had applied for asylum in the UK, with between 90 and 97% repatriated in recent months. The development follows a decision by the government of the United Kingdom to impose visa requirements on Trinidad and Tobago nationals in March 2025 amid a surge in asylum applications. Minister Alexander said some individuals who left the country continued to be involved in criminal networks even while abroad and warned that authorities will not tolerate lawlessness. He added that the government is working closely with international partners to track and manage returning nationals. Meanwhile, the minister also reported a smooth rollout of the new online arrival and departure platform, noting that travelers have been complying with the system and no major issues have been reported so far. A 27-year-old man has been charged in connection with a 2022 double killing in Harmony Hall. The accused, Ranasa Samaru, appeared before Master Delicia Barthelemy on March 16th, where he was also charged with possession of a firearm and ammunition. He is accused of the murders of Joshua Williams, 36, and Anand Mahabir, 39, whose bodies were discovered on July 11, 2022. Police said the charges followed extensive investigations by the Homicide Bureau of Investigations Region 3 and were laid after legal advice was obtained from the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Samaru was formally charged on March 14, 2026 and has since been remanded into custody. He is expected to reappear before the court on October 15, 2026 for a sufficiency hearing. Minister of Housing Philip Edward Alexander today visited the HTC East Port of Spain housing development to assess conditions firsthand. During the visit, he highlighted significant inefficiencies in the management and upkeep of the housing community. He also issued a strong condemnation of the previous PNM administration, pointing out that they neglected to address critical infrastructure issues, leaving residents in a state of disrepair for years. The minister emphasized that under his watch, these problems will be urgently addressed, ensuring a better quality of life for all residents.
What the People's National Movement under Dr. Keith Rowley did to poor black people in this country should send him straight to Randall Mitchell. You talk that you was a Minister of Housing. What you used to do as Minister of Housing besides pose? What? You ever come down here? You ever see the condition these people living under? You, Penelope Beckles, Camille Robinson Regis, Amory Brown, all you have a mile to talk. All you want to use black people to get back into office. Come and walk here. Come and walk in this community and explain to the people who living in these houses. I just watched a property burn down how long? 6 years?
10 years.
There was a lady who apartment burned, she living in a lane. And all you want to go and do video and talk about this government. We on the ground in your constituencies and we're going to fix it for all of these people. We're going to wake up Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Prasad, says, I said, leave nobody behind.
Former PSA President and Tobago political figure Watson Duke has been appointed as a consultant in human resources and industrial relations by the National Gas Company. In his new role, Duke will provide advisory support on HR and industrial relations matters across Trinidad and Tobago, including operations at the Cove Industrial Estate in Tobago. The consultancy is expected to focus on strengthening NGC's human resource strategies and overall development of its workforce. Duke 45 resigned from the Public Services Association in 2021 and later founded the Progressive Democratic Patriots, leading the party to victory in the Tobago House of Assembly before stepping back from active politics. NGC said Watson Duke brings a wealth of experience and a strong understanding of Tobago, particularly in human resource development, as the company continues to expand its operations. You're watching IETV News. We'll return after these messages.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality bromate-free, all-purpose and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canoopia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Are you renewing your motor, homeowner or business insurances shortly? Then call Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, for a competitive quote. With 2 locations, Todd Street, El Socorro and 5 Rivers, Aruca. Please call us at 221-5051 or 227-5051. Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, building relationships exceeding expectations.
Welcome back. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service held its annual interfaith service on Monday, bringing together leaders and representatives from various religious denominations in a display of unity and reflection. Deputy Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin said the leadership of the TTPS recognizes the importance of keeping officers spiritually grounded as they carry out their duties. Benjamin also pointed to what he described as a reduction in crime, adding that it reflects positively on the nation and suggesting that divine guidance has played a role in the country's progress.
As the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, as the executive, we recognize it's very important to ensure that our officers are founded in terms of their faith. Everything that we have done thus far has been because of the goodness of Almighty God, and therefore this is a time where all the religions will come together as one, and we seek to really establish the fact with our police officers that God has been good to us. When we look back at last year, we have seen nearly a 41% reduction in crime, and even at this point in time we are seeing a reduction as well, that we have 72 murders against 83. So it means that God has been good to us, and we want to take that time to really just tell the public and even to tell Almighty God, thank you, and to really bring that level of togetherness among the officers.
Let's now take a look at some international news.
U.S. has deployed its most powerful warship to West Asia. U.S. military is launching continuous airstrikes from the decks of USS Gerald R. Ford. The crown jewel of the American Navy is in crisis. 100,000 tons of nuclear-powered warship is suddenly looking vulnerable. The USS Gerald R. Ford was built to be an unstoppable force. But now reports say that a fire which broke out few days ago was much worse. According to NYT, the fire raged for over 30 hours. Sailors are reportedly sleeping on cold floors and mess hall tables, as some living quarters have been gutted. Questions were raised when Pentagon decided to rush USS Gerald R. Ford to West Asia. The Ford is now entering its 10th month of deployment. It will break the record for longest post-Vietnam war carrier deployment. The warship is due for maintenance, but the U.S. military top brass decided to send the warship with 4,500 sailors and fighter pilots to war. Earlier reports showed that there were severe sewer problems on board the vessel. Iran has long claimed that it has the weaponry to sink the aircraft carriers. Now reports claim that satellite imagery reveals a dramatic shift in naval posture. Fearing the lethal reach of Houthi and IRGC ballistic missiles, the Ford and its strike group have reportedly relocated to a safe distance. They are pulling back from the Red Sea and Oman. According to Defense Security Asia, the USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Group has also relocated to the southwestern coast of Oman. Now, according to reports, the USS Tripoli has been tracked off Singapore. It is carrying Marine ground troops toward the Persian Gulf. The U.S. is moving its pieces, but the board is changing. While the U.S. has the world's most powerful military, Iran, with its continuous strikes, is showing it is not to be subdued easily.
Overnight, Iran launching new strikes on Israel. These apparent cluster warheads seen falling over Tel Aviv. Israeli officials say an elderly couple in this building were killed by shrapnel from a missile interception. In Iraq, flames also rising after the U.S. embassy compound in Baghdad again came under attack. Hours after an earlier wave of drones, air defense here seen shooting one down. Meanwhile, the U.S. taking new action in the Strait of Hormuz, dropping multiple 5,000-pound so-called bunker buster bombs on hardened Iranian missile sites along the strait that could be used to target ships. But the waterway remains virtually shut down, choking off global oil shipments. U.S. allies in Europe are refusing President Trump's request for military help reopening the strait, saying this is not their war.
I think NATO's making a very foolish mistake.
Trump now insisting the U.S. doesn't need Europe's help.
Well, we don't need too much help, and we don't need any help, actually.
In Tehran, the regime shaken after Israeli strikes killed 2 of its top surviving leadership. Iran now confirming the death of National Security Chief Ali Larijani, widely seen as one of the regime's de facto leaders. Also killed the commander of Iran's feared Basij militia. Both were key in the violent crackdown on Iranian protesters in January that killed thousands.
I would argue the death of Ali Larijani is just as significant for Iran as the death of Ali Khamenei, the former supreme leader. This alone won't make it collapse, but I don't think that Iran can continue to lose leaders at this level for weeks on end. Their bench is growing shorter by the day.
Israel now also launching drone attacks on dozens of security checkpoints in Tehran, seeking to further weaken the regime inside the country. But at home, the Trump administration is facing new political pressure. Top counterterrorism official Joe Kent resigning in protest of the war, claiming Iran posed no imminent threat to the US. Writing, "It's clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby." Kent accusing Israeli officials of a misinformation campaign. Critics accusing Kent of anti-Semitism. His now former boss, National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard, issuing a statement backing the president. Kent, a retired Green Beret, has made headlines before as an election denier and for defending the January 6th riot. President Trump, who chose Kent for the counterterrorism post, now saying this about him.
I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well.
In Nasa, West Asia war rages on with over 9 million Indians living across the Gulf Cooperation Council. Access to essential food items remains a key concern. Addressing this Indian-owned retail major, Lulu Group has shipped over 8,000 metric tons of food products from India to the GCC over the past 2 weeks, boosting supply chains and providing relief to the expatriate community. The group coordinated with government authorities, international airlines, and logistics partners to operate 17 special chartered cargo flights alongside vessel shipments from India. Essential supplies, including fruits and vegetables, rice, eggs, meat, and other staples, were sourced from across the country, with air cargo departing from Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Trivandrum, and Kochi airports. In the UAE alone, over 5,000 metric tons of perishables have reached markets through dedicated cargo operations. Over 10 charter flights with Etihad Airways, along with sea and repatriation flights, have ensured a steady flow of staples and fresh produce. And beyond the UAE, the group is also supporting food supplies in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, and other countries maintaining consistent availability of essential items through Gulf Air, Qatar Airways. The initiative also supports farmers, exporters, and logistics workers across India, reinforcing the country's position as a key supplier of food essentials to West Asia.
When we return, your weather update and more. Stay tuned.
In our lives, there are moments that need to be remembered. Are you hosting a Ramayan Yagya, religious or cultural event or celebration? Would you like to have it aired live on IETV or recorded for playback later? We will air your program on IETV and IE Radio, with your viewers joining locally and internationally. Your family and friends worldwide can view on www.ietvtt.com or listen on ieradiott.com. To make arrangements, call or WhatsApp IETV at 784-9880. Let us record your cherished moments and share it.
Welcome back to IETV's Major News. Let's take a look at today's weather forecast. In today's weather update, Wednesday, March 18th, was partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy across Trinidad and Tobago, with warm and humid conditions prevailing throughout the day. There were periods of increased cloudiness during the afternoon, which brought a few isolated to scattered showers mainly over central, eastern and southern districts, while other areas remained mostly fair. Daytime temperatures reached around 32 to 33 degrees in Trinidad and near 31 in Tobago. Winds were light to moderate from the east at 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. Sea conditions were slight to moderate, with waves between 1.0 and 1.5 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. Sea levels remained within normal limits. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy with a few brief showers, particularly during the late evening and early morning hours. Conditions will remain warm and humid, with overnight temperatures falling to around 24 to 25 degrees. Winds will remain light to moderate from the east, while seas will continue to slide to moderate, with waves near 1.0 to 1.5 meters. Sea levels are expected to remain normal, though slightly choppy conditions are possible in open waters. For Thursday, expect partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy skies, with isolated showers developing during the afternoon, especially across central and southern Trinidad, while Tobago and northern areas should remain mostly fair. Temperatures are forecast to reach around 32 degrees in Trinidad and near 31 in Tobago, with humid conditions continuing. Winds will be east to east northeasterly at 15 to 20 kilometers per hour, and seas will remain slight to moderate, with waves up to 1.5 meters in open waters and around 1 meter in sheltered areas, while sea levels remain within normal range. Let's take a look at some crime news. A Shamsflare man has been arrested and 4 vehicles seized during an anti-crime operation conducted on March 17th. Between 4:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. on March 16th, officers of the Anti-Extortion Unit conducted an intelligence-led exercise in the St. Joseph Police District following reports of demanding money by menacers. During the operation, officers proceeded to an address along Williams Street, Shamsflare, where they arrested a 32-year-old man. 4 vehicles were also seized pending further inquiries. These include a Nissan Y12, a Nissan B15, and 2 Nissan Tiida motor vehicles. The exercise was coordinated by ACP Smith and supervised by Sergeant Bacchus. An accused man appeared before the San Fernando's Masters Court on Monday, 16th March, after being charged with uttering a forged document, obtaining money by false pretenses, and 3 counts of money laundering following extensive investigations conducted by the Anti-Corruption Investigations Bureau. The charges stem from an investigation launched in September 2022 after the Chief Executive Officer of the Superior Regional Corporation reported discrepancies uncovered during a financial audit. The audit revealed that a check originally prepared cared for a legitimate supplier had been stolen. The PAYE details were altered and the check amount fraudulently increased by 1,000%. Further investigations established that the individual listed as the PAYE was neither an employee nor a supplier to the SRC and therefore had no lawful entitlement to the funds. Inquiries also revealed that the altered check was successfully encashed at a commercial bank in Marabella, where it was presented as genuine. The sum of $300,000 was subsequently credited to the accused's account. The entire amount was later withdrawn in 3 separate transactions over the course of 1 week. The intelligence-led investigations was coordinated by DCP Intelligence and Investigations, Ms. Natasha George. The accused was granted bail in the sum of $400,000 with surety and is required to report to the San Fernando Police Station at specified intervals. Along with other conditions, he is expected to reappear before the court on July 7th, 2026. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is urging members of the public to remain vigilant when conducting financial transactions involving checks and other monetary instruments. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service advises that a company within the Warner Group of companies has been charged with 16 counts of money laundering arising out of a financial investigation into alleged illegal quarrying activities. Following consultations with the Officer of the Director of Public Prosecutions, advice was received to lay charges against Warren's Quarry Company Limited. Consequently, the relevant information was filed before the court on March 5th, 2026. Earlier today, Wednesday, 18th March, summonses were obtained and subsequently served on the company's director, Alan Warner, at his Woodbrook address. The date of hearing has been scheduled for April 27th, 2026. Recapping the headlines, political tensions rise over Prime Minister Prasad Bosesa's claims on PNM headquarters funding. A U.S. military aircraft lands in Tobago to remove advanced radar system. A woman stabbed to death in Cedros. Police hunt suspect known to victim. Well, this is where we leave you for now. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Micah Dumais. Thank you for joining us.